All right, guys. Welcome to the Pitchfork podcast for February 24th, 2021. If you guys like the stream, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button. Make sure you guys join in on every social media platform. Follow me on every social media platform. Now, guys, with that being said, we're going to be covering a lot of news today. A lot of news. So we're going to be getting to a lot of news. We're going to move a little bit faster than usual. I have got a lot of the live edits done. So as you can see, I'm spacing them out like ahead of time. And on top of that, I'm going to be doing a minute or less videos at least once a day. And I'm also going to be doing a little bit of a shorts, a little bit of a cell phone type of video, low quality, low res. But that being said, guys, I'm going to be bringing you the news though, and also bring you my views. So that way you can be a true news and views in under a minute. And there's also going to be times I'm going to be giving you longer types of videos that are not so much news related, but also just some things that I was interested in, like Bad Cop No Donut, the Corrupted Files. But again, this whole channel is about informing you, but also informing you from a very, very much pro-liberty standpoint, more libertarianish type of standpoint. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into the news. Let's not waste any time. We've got some articles to knock out. All right. So this comes from NPR. Nearly 100 Confederate monuments removed in 2020. Report says more than 700 remain. February 23rd, 2021. That's when this was published. Let's get into this piece. A report released Tuesday found that 168 Confederate statues or symbols were removed across the U.S. in 2020, virtually all of them following the killing of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officers. Only one of the symbols was removed prior to Floyd's death, when Virginia renamed Lee Jackson Day in April as Election Day. The figures are an update to the 2019 Whose Heritage Public Symbols of the Confederacy, an annual survey conducted by the Montgomery, Alabama-based Southern Poverty Law Center. The full 2020 survey will be released later this year. The SPLC said that 94 of the Confederate symbols removed in 2020 were monuments, compared to 54 monuments removed between 2015 to 2019. The SPLC found that 2,100 public Confederate symbols remain, 704 of them monuments. The SPLC began tracking the number of Confederate symbols in 2015. That year, a white supremacist fatally shot 9 black worshipers at a historic Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. I was in South Carolina during that time, and I remember that Charleston massacre. Dylan Roof, the guy who perpetrated that horrific killing spree, it resonated with a lot of people, but it resonated with me for one reason. He attended White Knoll High School in Lexington, South Carolina. It's either Lexington or West Columbia. I'm not really sure. I think they're very, very close. But I also attended for 1 year White Knoll High School. My stepdad, he had a house in Lexington, and we were just zoned just out for there. And so we wanted to get away from Keenan because Keenan was very, very dangerous. So pretty much, I went there for 1 year, and they got me out of there because I could not fit in, and I kind of know why. Because some of the teachers there and some of the staff there, let me go and tell you, a lot of them, man, at least back then, they weren't exactly fond of black folks. So what Dylan Roof did was not exactly shocking. And it's funny, I could actually bring on like my cousin at some point who actually attended White Knoll High School for a number of years, and he'll tell you the exact same thing. The shooter, Dylan Roof, has since been found guilty on 33 counts of federal hate crimes and sentenced to death. The massacre sparked discussion and, in some cases, reconsideration of Confederate flags and symbols across the South, and that was starting with South Carolina lawmakers voting to remove the flag from State House grounds. Communities increasingly look beyond the flags, the SPLC said, to re-examine statues, monuments, city seals, street names, and even state holidays. A renewed push to remove Confederate monuments came in 2017 after the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, VA. Wow.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
I remember that particular rally. I remember how exceptional it was. I'm not going to use the R word. I'm going to say exceptional. It was incredibly stupid. You had a bunch of mostly white men, marching through the streets at nighttime with tiki torches shouting, Jews will not replace us. And yet the surest way to make sure that Jews or at least somebody else replace you is to do dumb stuff like this and get yourself fired from your job or instigate violence. That rally, the Unite the Rally, the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville turned deadly when a speeding car plowed through a crowd of counter protesters. Critics argued that removing or renaming tributes to Confederate figures amounts to erasing history, the SPLC points out. But many historians and public opinion polling reject this concept, saying it's time for the symbols to go and possible to engage with this period of history in other ways. More recently, the nationwide reckoning with racism and police brutality sparked by Floyd's killing in May prompted waves of protests across the country over the summer and a push to re-examine the legacy of racial injustice in the United States. Dozens of Confederate monuments were removed or replaced in the weeks and months that followed, either by local decrees or forceful protesters. Still, many remain standing. An NPR investigation found that while some 60 Confederate monuments came down across the U.S. between May and October, localities moved to protect 28 of them during that same period, from Delaware to Florida to Arizona. Virginia statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee was removed from the U.S. Capitol in late December after more than 100 years to be replaced by a statue honoring civil rights activist Barbara Johns. Lee's statue was not present weeks later when a violent pro-Trump mob stormed the building, some individuals carrying Confederate flags. It is very, very interesting how that Capitol riot happened and people were storming the Capitol. They were storming the Capitol with Confederate flags, and it just seems to me like this is just a sea change type of moment, whereas people have to come to a realization that things aren't the way it's going to be, that things have changed in the country, that it's time to move on. It's time to seek something different, and so hopefully I think this is going to be a sea change type of moment. Let's hope so. Give me a second. My dog's in there sitting there growling at something. I apologize for that. That was my dog growling at something. I don't know what has this him. Azul. Come here. Come on. Yeah. Come here. All right, lay down. There you go. All right, so excuse my pup, man. He's really protective of me, and he really doesn't like it when people get too close on the outside. So with that being said, guys, we're going to be moving on here. We're going to be getting into some more news, some more interesting pieces. All right, that was the first piece I covered. Now, the next piece is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be affecting the U.S. again, but it's going to be affecting Virginia in particular. Virginia is having something interesting that's going on. This is going to be a piece from CNN. And I think it was very, very interesting. I really want to bring in my buddy on this. I want him to see this because I think that he would find this particularly interesting. I think that he personally would. I think he would find this particularly interesting because of the implications of what's going to be going on here. All right, the implications of it's going to be pretty interesting. So, with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. So, because it affects the death penalty. All right, it affects the death penalty. It's what's going to make it interesting. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, Virginia lawmakers vote to make the state first in South to abolish death penalties. All right, it's going to be from a CNN piece. Again, this is very, very interesting because I think that this is kind of news that shouldn't be shocking, but it is going to be shocking to a lot of people that there's actually a state voting to abolish the death penalty in the freaking South, and many people don't consider Virginia to be a part of the South, even though it is, it was the capital of the Confederacy. So yeah, it is a part of the South, whether you believe it or not. So that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get to this piece here. So CNN politics, Virginia lawmakers vote to make state first in South to abolish death penalty. All right, this is gonna be a pretty interesting article. It's gonna basically affect an entire state that is considered a part of the South because Virginia was the capital of the Confederacy. Virginia state lawmakers on Monday approved legislation that would abolish the death penalty in the state, moving the Old Dominion one step closer to becoming the first southern state to outlaw the practice. The bill, HB 2263, now heads to Governor Ralph Northam's desk for final approval. The Democratic governor has previously signaled he intends to sign the legislation into law and called the death penalty inequitable, ineffective, and inhumane in a joint statement following the bill's passage. Over Virginia's long history, this Commonwealth has executed more people than any other state. And like many other states, Virginia has come too close to executing an innocent person. It's time that we stop this machinery of death, he said in the statement with Virginia House Speaker Eileen Filler Corn and Virginia State Majority Leader Dick Saslaw. Virginia Senate voted 22-16 Monday to give final approval to the measure. The revision had previously passed the House in a 57-41 vote. Northam spokesperson Elena Yamusky told CNN on Monday that the governor's office expects to receive the bill in a few days after it clears a number of routine administrative actions. Once signed, the legislation will go into effect July. It will also commute existing death sentences to life imprisonment without parole. That is a very, very interesting thing. I mean, because I've had this debate with my best friend from combat, man, my buddy Jason, and he doesn't like the death penalty, but I do think that it is appropriate in some scenarios. Like for example, if it's like a wild shooting rampage or something crazy like that, or like a a repeated serial rapist. I do think death penalty is appropriate in some of those scenarios, but over time he has kind of worked on me, and I'm leaning more towards let's not do it than let's do it. But I still think in some very extreme cases, where you got somebody who's just massively raping women, or like you got somebody who's going on shooting rampages. Yeah, I think some of those people should be put to freaking death, like Dylan Roof. I'm sorry, don't waste my tax dollars. Put Dylan Roof to freaking death, but maybe over time, because I'm leaning more towards, but what about the cases that aren't Dylan Roof, where somebody is innocent but they just look guilty, So I mean, I am leaning more towards let's not do it than let's actually do it, and maybe that's just my softening of my heart just over on time. The bill would make Virginia the 23rd state to ban capital punishment and the first southern state to repeal the death penalty since the U.S. Supreme Court reinstated the punishment in 1976. Virginia has executed more than 1,300 people, more than any other state since the Jamestown colony's first recorded execution in 1608 for espionage, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. Opponents of the legislation have argued that the death penalty is about the justice for victims of crimes, with GOP state delegate Jason Miyares arguing earlier this month that victims have been completely left out of this debate over the death penalty. Again, but if you execute an innocent person, then they're also a victim. So you have to be also intellectually honest and mention that part of it. So I mean, I'm a little mixed, but I'm leaning more towards let's get rid of the death penalty because again, I just go back to what if the person's innocent? What if that person's innocent? I don't ever want to execute an innocent person, and the only way to 100% avoid that is to not execute people. So, with that being said, I mean it's gonna be interesting to see the how people adjust to this and how people see that. What does the general public think about this? All right, second one done. All right, so guys, we're just moving along again because again, We got a lot of things to cover, man. We got a lot of things to cover. A lot to cover. A lot to cover. All right. All right, guys. So we're gonna cover a murder hornets story next from TMZ. All right. All right. So let's go and get into it. All right. It's from TMZ. All right. It's from TMZ. Murder hornets. Fight to kill them off. This ain't over. Beekeeper braces for spring. Wow. Again, people thought the murder hornets were actually gone. They're not gone. The pesky murder hornets that made it to North America last year are not all dead and gone. In fact, a battle's being waged to contain the danger. We spoke to renowned Washington State beekeeper Ted McFall Tuesday on TMZ Live about the new Discovery Channel documentary, Attack of the Murder Hornets. He says enough have made it over here now to the point that different nests have developed. So again, I think they might be here to stay, man. They might be here to stay again, and that is a horrible thing to think about, because people don't really think about the fact that these hornets, they're not just dangerous in like large numbers, but they also kill bees, man. And again, I want you to see this. I want you to see that there's actually active nests out there. It's gonna freak you out, but it is something that people should be aware of, man. Like it's a serious problem. Yeah, like people are spotting them, and that's scary, man. So that means that they're building nests, and they're here, man. God, those things are big, dude. Yeah, people are seeing them out there. Those things are so big, bro. That is so scary. But people thought that they were gone. No, they are here to stay, my friends. They are here to stay, and that's going to be a problem for our bee population. That's also going to be a problem for humans, because let me tell you something. If you get stung by a couple of these things, that's ooh. Pros like Ted are addressing the crisis now. However, he fears that if they don't get it under control quickly, the U.S. bee population could be in serious jeopardy, which eventually impacts our food supply too. You might not realize it, but honeybees are a huge part of what keeps a lot of our crops growing at the rate that they do. Murder hornets can easily wipe out colonies of bees, and that's why they're such a menace. You recall scientists in Washington State set out a weeks-long mission late last year to snatch up as many murder hornets as they could find in one woodsy section of Washington, right on the Canadian border. They thought they'd gotten them all in one fell swoop, but had to go back to retrieve a lot more of these hornets, including hundreds of queens. Wait a minute, no. That is scary. Start extracting a lot of these hornets, man. I want you to see this. This is so scary, man. This is so scary, man. Wow. So some of these are freaking queens too.
All right, so let's wrap this thing up.
Some of these are queens.
Okay. Start on the high one. Yeah. Yeah, I can hear it. Go ahead.
they will be weighing and measuring the adults that had emerged. They'll be measuring the different size cells of the comb to determine, hopefully, how many.
So they're here to stay. There's no getting rid of them. There's no getting rid of them. Turns out those weren't the only ones out there, and now a black and yellow cloud hangs over the area. Check out what McFall says. This may mean for the average traveler heading to British Columbia, Canada anytime soon. You should be fine, but beware, these things can kill you. Yaks too, apparently. So, again, a beekeeper who specializes in killing these things, man, he's saying, yeah, they can kill you. And a hornet that big, Jesus, man, those things are just absolutely enormous. Look at the size of that thing. That is horrifying. That is horrifying. What the hell? Is that a hornet or a freaking a dragon? Like, man. Oh my God, man. Yeah, that is quite scary. That is quite scary. Man. That is quite scary. That is quite horrifying. I'm terrified of that. That is ridiculous. Murder hornets. They're back. They're back and they're making a bunch of nests. Man, that is horrifying. All right. So, we're moving to more articles here. Here we go. So, this new article here, it's going to be about Andrew Cuomo. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Apparently, Andrew Cuomo has been a naughty boy. Apparently.
We need to reduce
Thank you very much for Alex Doom giving me a like on Facebook. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. I salute you, Alex Doom. Welcome to the Meme Squad. All right, let's get into it. Andrew Cuomo's in trouble again, but it's for a hashtag #MeToo story. Oh my God. Things then got spicy up in him. See, you don't understand what I mean, but I want you to see this headline right here. Governor Cuomo accused of sexual harassment by former Ooh. Oh my God. Okay. let's get into this. This is gonna be ooey gooey, spicy, icy. Governor Cuomo accused of sexual harassment by former aide. Lindsey Boylan said New York governor constantly saw her out and made inappropriate comments.
Give your meat a good old rub. That's it. Nice and hot. Hotter, spicy meat. Yeah,
boy. That's the spicy meatball right there. That's a good. Listen. Andrew Cuomo. Even if you were to eat the fire mushroom from Super Mario, this could not be any spicier. You know, it's a spicy meatball right here. You getting hit from every. Listen, if Andrew Cuomo was a call girl, his legs would be spread out and he'd be getting hit from every side. He getting hit from every side. I love it. If you like it, I love it, baby. If you like it, I love it. A former aide to Governor Andrew Cuomo is accusing the embattled New York leader of sexually harassing her, including unwanted kissing and touching, and says his top female staffers normalized the behavior.
Give your meat a good old rub. That's it. Nice and hot. Hotter, spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
Lindsey Boylan, the former Deputy Secretary for Economic Development and Special Advisor to the governor, said Cuomo constantly sought her out and had staffers arrange meetings with her where he made inappropriate comments. Let's play strip poker, Boylan said Cuomo remarked on a flight from an event in October 2017, according to an essay she wrote on Medium published on Wednesday. A statement from Cuomo's office on Wednesday denied the claims. As we said before, Ms. Boylan's claims of inappropriate behavior are quite simply false, Press Secretary Caitlin Girard said. Boylan described her encounter in December 2016 when she said Cuomo arranged through a handler to meet her in his Albany office, to which she agreed reluctantly. She said he gave her a tour of his office, smirked, and showed off a cigar box he said was given to him by former President Bill Clinton while he served as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Boylan said she interpreted that to be an innuendo referencing the affair between Clinton and his then intern Monica Lewinsky in the mid-1990s. She said she was warned by other staffers when she joined Cuomo's administration in 2015 to be careful around the governor. Boylan said that his behavior was also normalized, particularly by Melissa DeRosa and other top women around him, that only now do I realize how insidious his abuse was. She also alleged that shortly before the office incident that made her feel uncomfortable, Stephanie Benton, director of the governor's offices, told her in an email that Cuomo suggested she look up images of Lisa Shields, his rumored former girlfriend, because we could be sisters, and told Boylan she was the better-looking sister. The governor began calling me Lisa in front of colleagues. It was degrading, Boylan wrote, including screenshots of the email exchange between her and Benton. Boylan said in another incident, this time in Cuomo's New York City office, he kissed her on the lips. I was in shock, but I kept walking, Boylan wrote. The idea that someone might think I held my high-ranking position because of the governor's crush on me was more demeaning than the kiss itself. In her statement denying the claims, Cuomo's office also released a statement from individuals they said were also on the same flights. John McGrory, Howard Zemsky, Danny Lever, and Abby Fauscher Collins. That statement said, we were on each of those October flights, and this conversation did not happen. Boylan first accused the governor of harassment last year, but did not elaborate on her experiences at that time. Boylan wrote in her Wednesday essay that she expects the governor and his top aides will attempt to further disparage me, just as they've done with Assemblyman Kim, who came forward in recent weeks with his own accusations against the governor of bullying and threatening him. Boylan did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment. Representative Elise Stefanik, Republican from New York, immediately called for Cuomo to resign following Boylan's story, calling him the worst governor in America and a criminal sexual predator. Stefanik had previously called for Boylan's allegations against Cuomo last year to be investigated further, but it amounted to nothing. It is inexcusable. It is an inexcusable disgrace, and almost every dollar that almost every other elected official in New York State quickly and quietly brushed this serious and credible allegation under the rug, Stefanik said in a statement Tuesday. Oh no, in a statement Thursday. Again, I agree with that because you know what?
It seems to me a strange thing.
It's a very, very strange thing, right? It's a very strange thing. I've noticed whereas Andrew Cuomo and the entire Democratic Party had no problem with saying that Brett Kavanaugh was a rapist. Brett Kavanaugh was a monster. Brett Kavanaugh was this. Brett Kavanaugh was that. But when it comes to Andrew Cuomo, suddenly I have to wait for evidence. I can't just listen and fucking believe now. And it's very, very hypocritical, right? It's very hypocritical because Andrew Cuomo, he was coming out against Brett Kavanaugh. He came out against Brett Kavanaugh. Most Democrats did. So if you're gonna turn around and do that, then it's only fair for me to say I find Lindsey Boylan's claims to be credible, the same way that you said about the Brett Kavanaugh's accusers. I find her claims to be credible, and Andrew Cuomo should step down based on what he said about Brett Kavanaugh. That's only fair, right? I mean, do you want to live by your own standards or don't you? Do you want to live by your own standards or don't you? Right? Do you want to live by your own standards or don't you? Because again, my whole thing is I don't think that you have a position of power should make you immune to the same rules that you set for other people. You set the whole listen and believe thing for other people. So therefore, you should also face it. Lindsey Boylan has come out with a freaking claim. It should be fully investigated. This is not her first claim, and I think that in the interest of fairness, these claims should be investigated because we cannot have a governor out here sexually assaulting people or sexually harassing people. We can't have that, right? So the same trap that you set for Brett Kavanaugh, it should also be set for him. So Governor Cuomo, until further notice, I think that he should actually step down because of the whole nursing home scandal and also because of this. I mean, it just and also for allegedly threatening Ron Kemp. I mean, it just seems like he's catching fire from all sides, and most of the fire that he's catching is not from freaking Republicans. It's from Democrats. It's from Democrats. It's from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's from Bill de Blasio. It's from Lindsey Boylan. It's from Ron Kemp, who's a Democratic assemblyman. Again, he's catching it from Democrats right now. He's catching it from state Democrats in New York right now, in his own state where he's speaking governor. So when you're catching that much heat from your own party, listen, it's time for a change, man. It's time for a freaking recall, and Democrats should be very, very careful because between California and New York, you've got some governors who can be recalled. You've got some mayors who could be recalled. Lori Lightfoot in freaking Chicago can be recalled because she's a shitty goddamn mayor. So again, this could spell problems for Democrats because it is very, very nice and refreshing to see them calling out their own side. But just because you call out your own side doesn't mean that your own side doesn't need some serious upgrades, some serious, problem fixing because y'all got some issues right now, man. Y'all got some issues. The same thing happened under Barack Obama, if you would recall, the whole Rod Blagojevich thing. You had several Democratic, mayors and governors who were in battle and freaking controversies, and this led to Republicans just taking over the freaking House, and then eventually the Senate. And then Democrats recently just won that back. So you just don't want to fall into the exact same trap, that you did last time under the Obama administration. But I guarantee you Democrats will. I guarantee you because Democrats make the same mistakes just like Republicans. So, but again, Andrew Cuomo, man, you gotta at some point, I mean, it's just stacking up to be too much now. You got to step down, bro. Listen, you can't do this. I believe everybody that's coming out against Andrew Cuomo because you just can't have this many Democrats all saying the exact same stuff, the exact same kind of stuff, and it not be true, man. I have a hard time believing it. Democrats in your home state, and you the freaking governor, You are the standard bearer for that particular party in that whole state. Come on, man. Come on, man. I have a hard time believing that he's innocent and all this stuff. I have a really, really hard time believing that. All right. Nah, I actually mean that. I really do. I have a hard time believing that. So Diesel Bomber's in the chat. How you doing, Diesel Bomber? I salute you, sir. Welcome to the chat. All right, you say it's wrong, but I would brag too if Clinton gave me a cigar box too, especially if I'm in government. That's true. But inviting a woman over to your place, over to your office, by herself, it's just you and her. Lindsey Boylan, you think Andrew Cuomo ain't want no sexual healing? Sexual healing, that darling. Whoo. Cause when he gets that feeling, he want sexual healing. You know what's up. Yeah. You would brag if you had a cigar box from freaking Bill Clinton. But you would also brag about a cigar box and you be trying to smash, you brought a chick over to your place and you the governor. Come on now. You know he wanted some pootie tang, all right? Yo, listen. Oh, Diesel Bomber says, dirty old guy needs all the help he can get. Yes, yeah. Let me grab me some more to drink real quick. And I'll be back with some more articles, man. Because the articles I'm about to go over are going to be a little bit spicy. So get ready for this one. All right. Because when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. That's what Cuomo wanted. He was in that feeling. Cuomo said he wanted some sexual healing. I feel you, Andrew. I feel you, baby. Don't worry about it. I believe you, man. I believe you. Now this one is about reparations, but it's about Barack Obama. Oh my God. Oh man. This one's gonna be a little spicy. Okay, this one's gonna be a little interesting because I think you're gonna find it to be a little bit interesting. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Actually, before we do that, 420 smoking if you got it. 420 smoking if you got it. Hold on, let me get. All right. Actually, no, because somebody gonna try me. All right. So, oh my God. Trust me. When you read the headline, you'll get it. When you read the headline, you'll get it. All right. Let's get into this surely not to be controversial topic. From Fox News, Obama says reparations justified, but politics of white resistance made it non-starter to propose. Obama appears to have changed position on reparations over the years. Written by Houston Keene of Fox News. All right, this is going to be a not controversial topic. I promise you, no one's going to have any strong opinions about this, ever. There's no way anyone would ever have a strong opinion about reparations, okay? I promise you. No one would ever have strong opinions about reparations. That is not the case. All right? If you're claiming that, you are lying. No one would ever have a strong opinion against reparations, against or for it. All right? Former President Barack Obama blamed the politics of white resistance and resentment as the reason why he didn't push financial reparations for Black Americans during his presidency. On Monday, Obama and rock and roll legend Bruce Springsteen released the second episode of their podcast, Renegades Born in the USA, where they spoke about race relations in the U.S. Toward the end of the episode, the two hosts spoke about reparations to Black Americans and whether or not the controversial policy would come to fruition. Obama said he believes reparations are justified and that there's not much question that the wealth, the power of this country was built in significant part, not exclusively, maybe not even the majority of it, but a large portion of it was built on the backs of slaves. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. The former president claimed that a reparations proposal didn't make its way through the lawmaking process during his presidency due to the politics of white resistance and resentment. And what I saw during my presidency was the politics of white resistance and resentment, the talk of welfare claims and the talk of the undeserving poor and the backlash against affirmative action, Obama said. All that made the prospect of actually proposing any kind of coherent, meaningful reparations program struck me as politically not only as a non-starter, but potentially counterproductive. Obama went on to say it was perfectly understandable why working class white folks, middle class white folks who are having trouble paying the bills or dealing with student loans wouldn't be too thrilled about the prospect of a massive program that is designed to deal with the past but isn't speaking to their particular future. Again, but it's very, very interesting how everyone brings up their current struggles, right? And you got that, you know what I'm saying? You got there, you know, largely, if you are the average American, not through heavy oppression, right? I'm not saying that there aren't white people who have stories that are even worse than black people, but it wasn't caused specifically by the government. I mean, in those cases, it is very, very few and far in between. Very few and far in between in comparison to us. I mean, let's just be honest, right? Obama appears to have changed his position on reparations over the years. He opposed reparations during his 2008 presidential campaign, arguing that the best reparations we can provide are good schools in the inner city and jobs for the people who are unemployed. Again, he's a politician. I'm not defending Obama, but you know he's a politician and he's a fucking liar. He's gonna say whatever he has to say to get elected. Because if he said exactly what he meant, would you have white people actually go and vote for him? Of course not. Of course not. Bills regarding reparations have been introduced to Congress for over 3 decades, with the most recent being the proposal for Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat from Texas. Jackson Lee introduced H.R. 40 to the House of Representatives, which aims to set up the committee to study and develop reparations proposals for African Americans. According to the bill summary, the committee shall examine slavery and discrimination in the colonies in the United States from 1619 to the present and recommend appropriate remedies. President Biden hasn't endorsed reparations outright, but he has voiced his support for forming a commission to study the issue. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki reaffirmed this position last week to reporters. So again, it is very, very interesting to see how things are changing like over time, because again, the way that you know that an idea a social idea, not so much a constitutional one. I'm not talking about like free speech or like gun rights or like stuff like that, but like a social idea like gay marriage or like or joining joining the military as a transgender person or many other types of issues that you'll notice that Barack Obama stands behind it a lot because he tends to not speak out so much, right? That's the one reason why many people listen to Barack Obama, to this very, very day. And you will notice that even Donald Trump isn't speaking nearly as much as he did while he was president. Now, granted, you could say that it's because he's been removed from so many social media platforms. He's Donald fucking Trump. If he wants a massive audience to actually hear them, he can do that at any point. If he says anything on any small social media platform, the news media is gonna overhype it because he's Donald Trump. But again, he's not saying a whole lot on purpose because that's what former presidents do. You have to be quiet for a long time so that when you do speak, your words matter. And so seeing Barack Obama say this, I guarantee you, him saying this and just in the next couple of years, you're gonna see a public opinion shift towards reparations because it's becoming harder and harder and harder to deny, especially given next month if Derek Chauvin is not convicted of murder or something in the George Floyd case, it's gonna make the case even stronger. So I want you to understand what's probably gonna happen within the next couple of years. We're gonna see reparations in this country. It's gonna be a lot of upset white people, a lot of upset people in general, but it's also gonna be a lot of happy people, and it's gonna be justice. This issue needs to be over. This issue needs to be done with. I'm tired of talking about it, and I'm pretty sure that you are tired of hearing about it. So let's just get this issue over with, man. There's no question that this country has screwed people over. There's no question about it. There's no arguing or freaking debating it. It's just, it gets to the point where it's like, I don't want to keep debating something that should be so damn obvious, man. I don't want to keep debating something that should be just so damn obvious. But let's hope this debate ends soon, because I'm tired of talking about it, and I'm pretty sure that you're tired of hearing about it. But so long as it's a debate, I gotta speak on it. You can't ask me not to. All right, so that was something that God, man, that's I really, really hope it comes. Not for me, honestly. But I came up in really, really poor neighborhoods, and it'd be nice to see those people like get out of that, man. It really, really would be. That's just how I generally feel about it. I just want people to not be poor anymore, man. Like, some people are poor through no fault of their own. There's a lot of white people are like that. I understand that. Like, well, that's white people are like that. Yeah, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same as being dumped off as refugees as slaves, only having one job skill. And the only thing that you can do is work for the same slave owners who just enslaved you, put you in more debt, have you in slavery for fucking life again, even though slavery was damn abolished. That was happening in the fucking South, man. Even after freaking slavery. So stuff like that, you can't just look past that, man. That's fucked. All right, that's fucked. So we got another story here, another heavy story. And this one here, 420, spoken before got him. All right, so let's go over here. It's from TMZ. It's about Elijah McClain. This story upsets me on several different levels. This kid did nothing wrong. Kid did nothing wrong. And yet there's people out there who tried to justify what happened to this kid. And those people, to me, are just scumbags, man. I don't. People like that, well, how come you don't want to listen to some people's opinion? Because if you try to justify murder, I don't want to hear from you. I think you're a bad person. And with a lot of black folk, especially like these days, that's a non-starter. And you realize that. So there's no point you even come to the conversation if that's what you're gonna undo, because there's no way I can fucking respect you. No. There's no way I can fucking respect you. I just can't. I can't respect people who justify that kind of shit. I'm sorry. Not to American citizens. To any freaking citizen. But you ain't gonna do it to American citizens in my own country. Fuck you. I'm not gonna justify that. No, I'm not gonna tolerate that or just accept that. Oh no, you have to accept my opinion when I justify. No, I don't. I'm not your mother. I'm not your goddamn father. Okay? Not your mother. Not your father. I don't have to accept bullshit. I can tell bullshit to fuck off. I can tell bullshit to fuck off. I don't have to accept when people bootlick, right, and try to justify murder, right? That's not right. That's not right. Elijah McClain was a good American who was unjustly murdered by pigs. Not police officers, fucking pigs. See, I was actually going to do a good cop story, but you know what? Fuck that. The hell I'm going to give you a damn cookie for if these motherfuckers can't start murdering fucking people, huh? Fuck that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And I guarantee you it's gonna be someone out there who's gonna suck the penis of the fucking police. Guarantee you. It's gonna be someone out there. Well, you have to listen. Well, what would you do if you saw a man? Shut the fuck up. If you think that if any part of what you think happened to Elijah McClain, you think it's right, fucking leave now. I don't want to talk to you ever again. I don't want to talk to you ever. You are a piece of shit. You are worth less than trash to me. If you think what happened to fucking Elijah McClain was right, I will urinate on you if I have a fucking chance to. Because you're a piece of shit. I don't give a shit if you, no. I'm not hearing the I'm so confused bullshit. You know, everyone else say, well, you know, well, do we know the whole story? Do we know the whole story? An unarmed man with anemia who was freezing was murdered by police. I don't need any more fucking context. He was a skinny anime nerd. I don't want to hear about how do you? Don't try me today. I've been doing so well, so fucking well with trying my best to not absolutely hate every fucking police officer out there. But you see, some of these fucking retards, right, that whenever they defend situations just like this, right, they only make it worse. They only make me hate all cops then. It's like, okay, well then, if you can't call out bad behavior, then fuck them all then. Well, you can't think like that. Yes, the fuck I can. These are my nuts. This is my dick. This is my fucking podcast. This is my fucking stream and my channel. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. If you can't call bad cops, then they're all fucking bad to me. I am so sick to fucking death of bootlickers. Bootlickers are un-American trash who should be shit on at every fucking opportunity. I love the police. Fuck you. You want my gun? Come take it. Who the fuck you think is gonna come and goddamn take it, you goddamn ding dong? Huh? Huh? Cobra fucking, the fucking putty goddamn command from damn Power Rangers, huh? Rita fucking Repulsor, huh? Cobra goddamn command from damn G.I. Joe, The fucking foot ninjas? No, the goddamn police. They're the ones who are gonna come and goddamn take it. Dumbasses. When your governor becomes fucking tyrannical and shuts down your fucking businesses and doesn't give you any kind of fucking recourse to actually recover, guess who's gonna fucking goddamn enforce that shit? Oh, let me guess. Goddamn Skeletor? Fucking Skeletor, right? He's gonna come and enforce that shit. No. I know. The fucking Decepticons. All right? Yeah, the fucking Decepticons, they're gonna fucking enforce tyrannical shit from goddamn governors. Oh, I know. No. It's not gonna be them. It's gonna be the goddamn cops. You fucking ding-dongs. Stop bootlicking goddamn cops. They ain't shit. They ain't never been shit. And they ain't never gonna be shit. They support corrupt politicians. They support the fucking prison industrial goddamn complex. They support everything wrong with this shitty ass goddamn country. I love America for what it is supposed to be. Not for what it is. We live under goddamn tyranny. Well, other countries they have that going. They have that. I don't give a shit what other countries have going on. Tyranny is fucking tyranny. It doesn't matter if it's worse or better on some other levels in other goddamn countries. Tyranny is still fucking tyranny. Like, for example, if a police officer were to take a fucking chainsaw fucking bayonet and chainsaw a fucking baby here, or if in goddamn, I don't know, Iran or Saudi Arabia, they stone a goddamn woman for, I don't know, trying to marry outside the goddamn family or some crazy shit like that. I have no idea. Okay. Either way, tyranny is goddamn tyranny. There's levels to the shit. Just because tyranny doesn't reach a certain level as compared to some other places, doesn't mean that it's not fucking tyranny. Well, over there, they are over there killing their people, just massive genocide. And you got cops who pretty much want to bring it here too. Go ask the fucking Capitol rioters. Guarantee you that if they could have a goddamn race riot, they would. And I know right now I'm fucking going in. I haven't even gotten to the fucking article, and goddamn it, fucking editing and clipping is gonna be fucking crazy, all right? But holy shit, oh my God, listen, I can go on for hours about Elijah McClain. This shit, listen, that and Ahmaud Arbery, again, George Floyd changed a lot of people. Ahmaud Arbery, that shit changed me, bro. Woo! Tim Pool, I'm on the West Coast now. Whenever you want to meet me in person, name a goddamn place. Please. I would love to come and talk to you, Tim Pool. I would love to come and talk to you. Right? So, I know I got to get into the article here. If y'all give me a second, I need to get a little bit more cannabis to bring it down, because I told you. The Elijah McClain story, it upsets me. Now, I want you guys, I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let you guys watch a video here so you guys can just see what's going on in the background. You can see why this story upset me so much, because it raises, it definitely, it grinds my gears. I'm just going to say it just like that. It grinds my gears. It rustles my jimmies. All right? This case rustles my fucking jimmies, all right? Seriously. Because I swear, if someone tried to justify this shit in front of me, I probably would smack the fuck out of them. Seriously. That's how serious I am about that shit, man.
Why don't you tell us what this independent commission's finding means to you?
It's just confirmation that everything that we said was true, and
rug system that features style.
It's crazy, man. You know, I just want people to
Stylish, interchangeable rug covers.
Some kind of advertisement that's freaking playing right now. Some kind of weird advertisement playing.
That was filed last year against the city and the police.
Wait a second, let me try to. Before I try to play that, there's some kind of advertisement. This keeps trying to play, and I just don't want this advertisement to play. What is this advertisement? I keep hearing it. All right.
This independent commission's finding means to you?
it's just confirmation that everything that we said was true, and it's reassuring that someone else sees the same.
What does this mean for the civil rights lawsuit that was filed last year against the city and the police department?
One of the main findings in the report was that the city, from the very inception of its investigation, was going out of its way to try to cover up its own wrongdoing. And so one of the things that we learned was that during the course of their so-called investigation of the murder of Elijah McClain, the city, instead of asking questions that were designed to find out what really happened, to uncover officer wrongdoing or even criminal conduct, asked what the report called questions that were designed to elicit magic language from case law that would exonerate the officers. The independent commission was not allowed to reach legal conclusions whether or not it was either criminal or civil liability. They were simply charged with the task of looking into what happened and giving recommendations to the city for things that needed to be changed. But what the report did do was provide very specific descriptions of the fact that Aurora police and medics did everything wrong from the very beginning of their very first interaction with Elijah McClain. They didn't have legal justification to stop him. They didn't have a legal justification to search him. They didn't have a legal justification to use the overwhelmingly excessive force that they used over the course of 18 minutes. They didn't have a legal justification or a medical justification to inject him with one iota of ketamine, much less the massive overdose. And they investigated in a way that was designed to cover it up. So while the report wasn't allowed to reach the legal conclusions, it provides outstanding factual backup and a legal opinion regarding the wrongdoing that Aurora, its officers, and its medics engaged in over the course of the entirety of the event and the so-called investigation.
Do you have faith in the justice system there that something is going to happen?
It's kind of hard, but I still have faith. I know God's got me, and got a great lawyer, and we're still fighting, and we're still going to be here till the end. I'm going to be.
That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous, bro. That man didn't even do nothing, man. Like that's just part as like got me like all mad and shit. The man didn't even do nothing, man. Like why was that man killed, man? Why is this man still not with us like right now? That's the question I gotta ask. What did this man do wrong? TMZ, Elijah McClain family feels vindicated. Panel finds Aurora PD in the wrong. Wow. So it was investigated. It was published on February 23rd, 2021, and the panel found that the Aurora Police Department was actually in the wrong. In the wrong here. I mean, you can't argue it. You can't argue that. Elijah McClain was dealt with in a severely uncalled for manner by Aurora, Colorado cops and paramedics. So says an independent panel investigating the 23-year-old black man's death, and now his family wants the officers criminally charged. Elijah's father, LaWayne Mosley, and his family's attorney, Mari Newman, joined us Tuesday on TMZ Live to discuss the findings of a commission gathered by the Aurora City Council. So again, that is just, wow. The Elijah McClain story, it's one that touched me. You know, like Ahmaud Arbery awakened me. This is the one that hurt me. You know, and it's like that other case with the kid with the flashbang. That there's certain cases where it's just like you could be mad at first, but as you're watching it, all you can just feel is this overwhelming sadness, you know? Because you know Elijah McClain was a good guy. You can just tell he wasn't a bad person. He's just an awkward guy. He's just like one of those skinny like white boys, you know, who's always on 4chan, always on like Reddit, you know, just posting funny memes, that kind of stuff. Like just awkward kid. He wasn't a bad kid. He wasn't a bad kid. So if you get angered easily like me, I would suggest that you don't watch this. This is pretty bad.
Newly released body camera video from Aurora Police is giving us new insight into the moments before Elijah McClain's August death.
Now, someone called police to report McClain as a suspicious man wearing a ski mask and waving his hands. The 23-year-old was walking home from a convenience store. His family said he wore the ski mask because he was anemic and was often cold.
Police stopped him while he was walking. They say he was resisting arrest, so they put him in a carotid control hold and he passed out. And then when paramedics arrived on scene, they chose to administer the sedative ketamine, something Aurora Fire says is standard protocol around our region.
Stop. Stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious. Come on with him, okay? No, grab your gun, dude. Stop, dude. All right. Just drive it right behind his ear if he fights, all right?
Now, Aurora police insist they are not the ones who requested the use of ketamine. It was Aurora paramedics. McClain went into cardiac arrest on his way to the hospital. He died 6 days later.
And according to an autopsy, the coroner could not determine how McClain died and wouldn't rule out homicide at the hands of Aurora PD, but added it may have been physical exertion. The attorney representing the McClain family says they were not aware of tonight's press conference and calls this surprise Friday night press conference another example of Aurora doing its best to keep Elijah's family and the community in the dark. Aurora police say the officers were put on leave and they are back on the job. The department is still looking into use of force in this case.
So they're back on the job. They're back on the job. They are officers who killed this boy. And the paramedics who killed this boy. They are back on the job. He was 23 years old. He was 23 years old. It wasn't COVID that killed him. It wasn't anemia that killed him. It wasn't some crazy sick that actually killed him. It wasn't a drive-by shooting. It wasn't a shooting in freaking Chicago, Candace Owens. It wasn't a shooting in Chicago there, Tim Pool, Brandon Tatum. It was the police. It was paramedics. He only wore a ski mask because it was in the middle of December in Colorado. And Colorado, as you might can imagine, can get very, very cold in December. So wearing a ski mask in December in Colorado is not unusual. People called the police on Elijah McClain, claiming that he was suspicious when all he was doing was walking home with a bag that he actually purchased items from a convenience store. You know, he actually brought the items. He's actually on video, and the video is so freaking clear to the point where Elijah felt like he was taking too long in the line, so he actually turned around and he bowed towards the guy behind him and was actually apologizing because he had to reach into his jacket to get like his freaking money, and he was taking so long, and he was taking like a bit of a long time, but he wasn't trying to be like a mean guy. Again, you know, what would you expect an awkward kid, an anime geek, to do if he's inconveniencing a person? He would bow to somebody. He would apologize profusely. And this kid, man, the kind of person who bows to a person. The kind of person who bows to a person because they felt like they were taking too long in the line. Lowering their head to another man. Do you understand that is not a mean person? He's walking home. He has his music on because like a lot of anime nerds, a lot of, you know, awkward kids, he listens to music because sometimes that helps him escape, you know? And I know that because I was an awkward kid. It helped me escape. I watched anime too. I was a skinny freaking black kid. I was just like him. And he couldn't hear the cops. They told him to stop. Within 10 seconds, they go and grab this kid. They had no reason to stop him. He was simply walking home with a ski mask on in the middle of damn December in Colorado. That's it. And the officers kept trying to justify it. Well, he had on baggy clothes. He tensed up when I grabbed him. When you grab someone, they're going to fucking tense up, you goddamn idiots. Elijah McClain. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's getting harder and harder to be proud. Let me go. It's getting harder and harder to be proud of my service, man. I can't. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. Like, why? Why is this man dead? He's barely a man. He was only 23. You're 2 years beyond the legal drinking age, man. You know, like, that's a baby, man. Like, why? Newman says the commission determined cops did everything wrong during the 2019 incident, starting with having no legal reason to stop and frisk Elijah, not to mention later detaining him in a chokehold. As for the paramedics, the commission found they gave Elijah way too much ketamine to sedate him and ended up putting him in a coma before he later died. Newman says Aurora PD tried covering up their mess after the fact. Another finding she says the panel discovered and made clear in its 157-page report. Elijah's dad says the commission's findings are just a start because his family wants justice. They'd like to see the officers criminally charged for Elijah's death. Plus, they've already filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city and the police department. There's another update for this case: the fact that the firing of the three Aurora Police Department officers last year was upheld just a couple of weeks ago by the city's Civil Service Commission. When the chief of police spoke about their actions at the presser, it was clear she was sickened. They photographed each other mockingly reenacting a chokehold during a memorial for Elijah. As for whether Mr. Mosley still believes justice will be achieved for Elijah, you might be surprised by his answer. Sounds like he's keeping the faith. So they mockingly. This is also something that they did. And I have to keep my level of anger down because this kid died. And they did this, the officers who did it, they did this right here. The officers were fired after they did that. They were making fun of the fact that he was choked to death after he was given the ketamine. Officers from the same department. They made fun of a kid dying, you know? And I guess normally I'd be yelling right about now, but all I can feel is just sadness. Just sadness. Like, it hurts. So yeah, sorry about that. I it's a lot of these cases, like when you get involved in a lot of these cases and you start to do FOIA requests, you start to do all the digging and investigating, you start trying to look into stuff, and you see the problems. You know, it hits you a little bit different, I guess. And for me, it's just when I see stuff like this, when I see these officers making fun of this kid's death, and just making light of it. Just thinking that it's cool. Thinking that it's funny. As if he doesn't have loved ones that love him and care about him, that miss him. It hurts. Because I've lived my life trying to take jobs of service, you know, from law enforcement to the military to just community service. I've always tried to live a life of service, and I could never imagine if you call yourself a public servant. I could never imagine you doing something like this. And that's why I say police need reform. This is just, I'm sorry. That's just, you can't look at this and say police don't need reform. Qualified immunity needs to go. All right? We need better standards, better mental health standards. We need to, honestly, I don't care if a lot of cops leave. Fuck them. Leave. Because I guarantee you that once the economy gets bad enough, people are going to be looking for those damn jobs. People are going to, who are going to be appreciative to have those jobs because they've been poor before. But I just can't watch this anymore, man. Poor Elijah McClain. There goes Eric Garner. There goes Tamir Rice. There goes Trayvon Martin. There goes Elijah McClain. Ahmaud Arbery. Breonna Taylor. So many names, man. It's just, I want people to understand that for many of us who aren't just doing this for a grift, people like me who've been making videos like this for years, man, there is a point where it does weigh on you, you know? Like, for example, if you've looked into these kind of stories over and over and over again, it sensitizes you to a certain extent. But if you're a person that's like me, who you do genuinely do care about people, it does weigh on you. It does get exhausting. And that's why sometimes I need a break from things. I'll just, one day I just won't cover these types of stories because it's just like I just can't do it, you know? it's just sometimes it becomes too much. Because when I think about Elijah McClain, I don't see him as some 23-year-old man. I see him as just some anime nerd who's probably on Xbox Live, talking that smack, but probably watching some anime like One Piece. Come on now, let's be honest. Black guys, we love One Piece, we love Naruto, that kind of stuff. I could picture him watching that, and he looks like the freaking type. Does he not? Does he not? A kid with freaking anemia. Does he sound like a fucking gangster to you? No, probably not. Some skinny kid with a freaking anemia who bows to people because he feels like he's holding them up in a freaking convenience store storyline. He's not a gangster. He's probably an anime nerd. In fact, when I read up more about him, he actually was. And to know that someone who's an awkward kid, probably one of the most innocent people the most innocent type you could think of, just to know that his life was just taken, and to know that cops are making fun of that. It's exhausting. Because people out there are going to all make a screen. Not all before you go to argue with me, go out there and find these cops who are doing this. Before you argue with me, because again, you see, arguing with me over that, right? It's counterproductive. It doesn't help you do anything. Maybe your time is better spent looking for bad cops, right? It's a completely different strategy than what many of these people have actually tried. But this is exhausting. This is so exhausting. And to Elijah McClain, I am so sorry, bro. It ain't right what happened to you. He wasn't a bad kid. Just an awkward kid who encountered some really bad police officers and some really bad paramedics. Rest in peace, brother. Man, that story, man, bothers me every time. Oh, that story bothers me so much, man. Because I used to be that freaking nerdy anime kid, I mean, that wasn't right, man. That wasn't right at all. All right, Bomber Fox says, best Starscream is Armada Starscream. Very true. DM Cosplay says, Soundwave the best Decepticon. Soundwave's top tier. I agree. Pocholo says, what up, bro? What up, Pocholo? I salute you, brother. Welcome to the stream. Bomber Fox says, hey, Pocholo, how you doing, Pocholo? Bomber Fox says, wow, put on leave, then put back on the job. Yeah. Bomber Fox also says, if I only had that kind of immunity. Me too, man. Me too. Excuses, dear fuck. The police departments need to stop with the apology BS and start punishing cops that murder people. Very true. DM Cosplay says, no justice, no peace. Yeah, true, man. Bomber Fox says, yep. I keep telling people who angrily post stats on cops shooting unarmed people, things like this do not show up in those stats. Bomber Fox says, and Bomber Fox also says, who posts those stats to defend cops? Yeah. Very, very, very true. They only give you half the story, man. And I'm tired of getting half the story. I want people to get the whole story. It's just, I'm tired of this, man. It's just so exhausting. I was gonna cover the case of Daniel Prude, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I need a break from that today. I can't do it. All right. But for right now, I will take open calls, man. But I can't cover another story like that, man. Like my heart can't take no more of that, man. Like I hate it when it's not just black people, but also white people. I don't like it when the American people get abused by cops, man. I just don't like that personally, and that's just me. That's just me personally, right? So with that being said, guys, if you want to call in, the number to call in is 253-203-6784. Again, the number to call in is 253-203-6784. I'm in Discord right now, and I'm waiting for somebody to go ahead and join in. And if you guys want to chat with me live, you can. The Discord is open. By the way, apologize a little bit of the waterworks there. I just feel like things like that shouldn't happen to people. People shouldn't be murdered by their police. Police shouldn't be, pursuing people like that with such venom, man. Such venom. But that being said, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys a new upload schedule. So with that being said, we're doing the Pitchfork podcast at least 1 p.m. It's going to be 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. Or sometimes it's also going to be at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard on time. Now, with that being said, I also do some gaming streams. I'm also going to be playing a lot more Magic Arena. I switched over from Magic the Gathering Online to Magic Arena. So I'm gonna be getting a lot of the cards. So you guys can actually follow me along there. But make sure that you follow me on Twitch. Follow me on every social media platform, guys. Look at the screen there. You have me on that's my handle on Twitter. Okay, at Dev's Advocate. Follow me on Twitter. Devil's Advocate, the Devil's Advocate channel. Follow me there on Facebook. All right, Discord, the Inferno. I posted a link in of my Discord server and also in the description if you want to check it out. Fuse Painter 86. That is my handle on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. Also, Devil's Advocate. If you're on any other platform besides YouTube, Devil's Advocate. That's the name of my channel. All right. Diesel Bomber asks a very good question here. I wonder what's the ratio of police brutality in places with less strict gun laws versus places with ridiculous gun laws. That is a very, very good question. You know what? I have never. That's a very good question. Because, California is a very left-leaning place, right? Yet California has LAPD, which is known to abuse people. So I mean, you got to think about it, right? Is it really is it more worth it to have gun laws where people? I'm not saying to shoot cops. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not telling you to do that. If you do that, you are breaking the law. I would never tell you to do that. Do not do that. Do not ever do that. No. No. I'm saying that for legal purposes because no. Don't ever shoot police officers. Ever. It's terrible. Never do that. No. All right? Oh, my God. Don't do that. But I am saying, the Second Amendment, it wasn't intended for hunting. I am saying that. I'm not saying to shoot police officers, but I am saying the Second Amendment was not intended for hunting. Okay? Don't ever shoot police officers. Ever. No. Never do it. No. Okay? I am not telling you to do that, but I am saying the Second Amendment was intended not for hunting. It wasn't intended for target shooting. It was intended for a tyrannical government. And some people try to separate cops from the government. No, you can't do that. I'm sorry. You can't do that. You want to know why? Because qualified immunity is the reason why. If you read the doctrine of qualified immunity, it even says that police officers are public servants, also count as members of the government because they carry out government policies. So, they are agents of the government, whether you like it or not. Be it state or federal, they are still agents of the government in the United States. So, once again, I'm not telling you to shoot police officers. However, I am saying the Second Amendment was not intended for hunting. It was intended to protect you from tyrannical forces in or around the government. Okay? And also, Bomber Fox here says, police are the armed forces of the government. That is very true, sir. They are inseparable from the government. Yes, that is very true. In fact, I guarantee there's going to be somebody out there who's going to try me, who's going to try to test my knowledge. And I'm going to go ahead and correct them ahead of time. I already know it, cause and Diesel Bomber, I don't mean you. I don't mean you. I mean there's usually somebody else who pops up right around this sometime who always tries me. Cause they'll pick out one thing that I say and they'll say, oh, you're wrong. I did a citation. Okay, so let's go look up qualified immunity. Okay, let's go look at the definition of it. And if you read the definition of it, knowing that cops use it, right? If it also applies to government officials, if you understand what qualified immunity is, right? The very definition of it makes cops a part of the government. The very definition of it. Qualified immunity. In the United States, qualified immunity is a legal principle that grants government officials performing discretionary functions immunity from civil suits unless the plaintiff shows that the official violated clearly established statutory or constitutional rights of which a reasonable person would have known. That is definition. You can read the whole one. Again, they're going to say, keep reading. The other part, definition is going to prove. No, it won't. It is a form of sovereign immunity, less strict than absolute immunity, that is intended to protect officials who make reasonable but mistaken judgments about open legal questions, extending to all officials, but the plainly incompetent or those who knowingly violate the law. Qualified immunity applies only to government officials in civil litigation and does not protect the government itself from suits arising from officials' actions. The U.S. Supreme Court first introduced the qualified immunity doctrine in Pearson v. Ray in 1967, enacted during the height of the civil rights movement. It is stated to have been originally enacted with the rationale of protecting law enforcement officials from frivolous lawsuits and financial liability in cases where they acted in good faith in unclear legal situations. Starting around 2005, courts increasingly applied the doctrine to cases involving the use of excessive or deadly force by police, leading to widespread criticism that it, as summarized in the 2020 Reuters report, has become a nearly has basically become a nearly fail-safe tool to let police brutality go unpunished and deny victims their constitutional rights. So, once again, it is very, very interesting. The very definition of qualified immunity proves that yes, the police are government, are part of the actual government. Because I remember one time I actually mentioned that, and I had somebody, his name was Clint. He's a fucking idiot. But he's like, I mentioned that the police aren't really a part of the government. Qualified immunity, by very definition, proves that you're fucking wrong. Because how could qualified immunity apply by the very definition of it if they aren't a part of the government? You see what I mean? So, people always says, "Oh man, you're so intelligent, you're so smart." It's like, it's not that. It's just I just read. If I don't know something about a freaking subject, I go out there and I read, and I don't go out there with a fucking bias, right? Even if I don't like the left, I still read from the left. Even if I don't like the right, I still read from the right. That's the problem. I don't do anything special. I just do what many people are unwilling to do. Right? Like, there's some people, right? Yeah, there's some people. It's just, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how much evidence I present to them. It doesn't matter, what I tell them. They're not gonna believe it, and that's why people always says, "You have thousands of freaking subscribers. How come your freaking streams are so freaking low? How come your views are dropping off?" It's like I explain to people all the time, because Brandon Tatum, 6 Texas, a freaking the Young Turks, MSNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, 6 Texas Hammer 666, Tim Pool, They all tell people something that they want to hear, be it on the left, be it on the right. I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell them the fucking truth. If you're on the left, you got some idiots on the goddamn left. And you're on the right, you got some idiots on the goddamn right. And guess what? There are times where you might have to call out one side or call out the goddamn other. It can't just be, oh, one side is always right. The police are always right. In most cases, in my cases, most times they're always wrong. But sometimes they are right. It's not all one way. Granted, it'd be about 98% one way when it comes to cops, in my case. But still, people out there, I take pride, right? Oh, Jimmy Dore, yeah, another one. Fucking Jimmy Dore. Or freaking Joe Rogan. Always with a fucking narrative, man. Always a narrative. And they always pretend like they're not paid to say the shit that they're fucking paid to goddamn say. Right? I want you to understand something. There's a reason why I'm held to a higher scrutiny than fucking Steven goddamn Crowder. Right? Motherfuckers will listen to Steven Crowder with them election conspiracy that isn't even remotely true. I tell them, your house is on goddamn fire. Here's the fucking proof. Here's the peer review goddamn evidence. Here's the fucking federal goddamn court documents. Well, this one part of this one sentence in your video is not 100% verifiable. Now, granted, it's mostly true. Common sense will say it's true, but it's not 100% verifiable. So therefore, the whole video is crap. But you listen to fucking Steven Crowder for hours lie to you. I want you to understand something. I take pride in not having a single patron. I mention it in every stream because I'm proud of it. It means I'm not getting paid to lie to you. And yet I give you this much content in one day. What is that telling you? That I must genuinely fucking enjoy it. If I've been doing this for goddamn years and I genuinely enjoy it. And you never have to pay me a fucking dime for it. Because I don't want to get paid to lie to you. Fox News does that shit. MSNBC does that shit. CNN does that shit. The New York Times does that shit. The Young Turks does that shit. Jimmy Dore does that shit. Steven Crowder does that shit. PragerU does that shit. Hexenhammer 666 does that shit. Tim Pool, Brandon Tatum. They all do the same shit. Just different sides. They find the fucking boomers on one side who's gonna fund you, send you super chats. Hey guys, if you're on the fucking right, basically, well, if those blacks would just pull themselves up by the bootstraps, fuck reparations. The police are always right. Red, white, blue. Ho, say can you hear? That's the goddamn right. I love Jesus. I love Israel. Okay? Even though some people on my side, right? They don't like Jews. But I gotta pretend that I like Israel. Right? That's the right. The fucking left. I mean, half the motherfuckers don't even know what gender they are, okay? All right, let's just be honest. I'm just calling a spade a goddamn spade. I fully support the LGBT community. But I mean, I gotta stop at a certain point when we start getting to fucking like other kin and that kind of shit. Because I've seen that shit start popping up a little bit too much now. Okay? It's becoming less and less of a goddamn joke. All right? There's people on the left who are fucking oblivious too. They will sit there and bitch about civil rights so much, right? Or the police, they are racist and we need changes. So I'm gonna take your gun so you can't defend yourself and you gotta rely on the goddamn cops. What the fuck's wrong with you? Are you fucking stupid? Did you not just hear what you fucking told me? That's the modern day left. I just gave you an example of the modern day right and the modern day left. Both are out of touch. We need 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th parties or crash the whole goddamn system. But this whole 2-party system here, it ain't fucking working no more. I want more parties. I want more fucking options. I want more candidates. I want younger candidates. I want all these old bastards out. I want an age limit in Congress and the goddamn Senate. Fucking joint chiefs. I want an age limit. Once you turn 70, you're out. Bye. You turn 70, 5 years later, get your fucking social fucking security and take your ass home. Right? Yeah, Malcolm X had the best description for the left liberal. The left liberal is racist, but just doesn't want to admit it. You know, because again, I'm gonna give you a prime example of fucking white guilt, right? But white guilt that is justified. Oregon, right? Oregon, for the longest time, didn't even allow black people to live in the fucking state. And now you got Antifa there and got them Portland, right? Right? You got fucking Antifa there. So it's like you got some extreme white guilt, but the white guilt is kind of justified. I mean, you didn't even allow black people to live there. I mean, no one in Portland has any right to historically call anybody else racist. Cause holy shit, if you look at your damn state, I mean, you gotta shut the entire fuck up, okay? All right? Cause as much as racist as South Carolina was, and holy shit, it was racist, and it still is now. At least they allowed me to fucking live there at any point in damn history. Now, granted, I might have been a fucking slave there, but I could be there. Shit, god damn. I mean, Oregon. Oregon was the fucking Uncle Ruckus goddamn state. Don't trust them new niggas over there. Kick them out. God damn, boy. They ruckus the shit out of us, huh? Damn, Oregon. Bomber Fox says, other can be cringe, but hey, I can't diss them. Laugh out loud. Oh, man, I can. I can diss them. I can diss other can at any point. Other can, man, they're not bad people. They just make you want to, make you wish that certain sides had won throughout history. I'm just gonna put it to you like that. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for the podcast, guys. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Bomber Fox, Diesel Bomber, Cosmic Squirrel, DM Cosmic Chaos. Guys, I want to tell you, thank you for being regulars for the show. Guys, I want to salute you all. Welcome to the Mean Squad. Welcome to the chat, and welcome, guys. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for hanging in there with me. All right, guys, for a new Pitchfork podcast. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be high energy. I'm going to give you news and views in under a minute. I'm going to give you same bad cop, no donut, same corrected files, same stuff that you've always gotten, just more of it. All right, guys. So I salute you all, guys. Go out there and meme, my meme warriors. Wear masks. Don't get COVID. Take care of yourselves, man, and be nice to each other, all right? Just try to. I'm trying to be a much nicer person, even though I know I can be an asshole. Oh, my God, I know I can be an asshole, but I'm trying. I am making a genuine attempt. A genuine attempt. But there's some things I just can't stop being an asshole over. Horns up, peace out. Good night, and good luck.